What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's having a pretty good day. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the RPS Viper 150cc dirt bike, as well as my mini bike as well, just kind of like brief looks at it. So this is a Chinese dirt bike. I got this thing delivered to my house for $1,500 exactly. It's a very good bike. I ride it basically every single day. It's not the fastest bike that you can find. It's not like a Honda or a Yamaha, but it definitely is fun to ride for sure, especially if you've never had a bike before, or like a proper dirt bike. So a few attachments that I've done on here. I've actually done a decent amount. Not like a whole crazy amount, like bore it out or throw better internals in. I've not done any of that. But some simple things that I've done is, for instance, throw a Nibby PE 24mm carburetor on here. This is a pretty good carburetor. I did have it on this bike as well for a while, but it ended up just not running properly with this exhaust, and it would run rich at idle, and the lowest pilot jet I had was a 30, size 30 or 0.3 millimeters, and that's all I had, so I really had to just switch back to the stock style carburetor and just run with that without governor. Obviously, I removed the governor on this one. This is the stock engine that originally came on this bike. I removed it. This is the Predator 212, an extra one I have that I just ripped the parts off of on here. So yeah, the workshop looks pretty good, I feel like. Definitely want to redo everything. I mean, these shelves look like shit. I'm going to end up ripping these all out and kind of pushing everything back a little bit more, hopefully. All right, back to the main part of this video, the bike that we were talking about here. I also threw a, this meter right here is going to be for RPM thermostat, and is also acts as another hour meter. It also can register how many times the bike has been started, so it can count if you want to have that as well. Right here is just a normal hour meter, and this is the overall hour meter. This is one that I don't reset every time I do oil changes. So I basically will reset this one every single time I do oil changes. And as you guys can see, you have hour meters up here. Right here is where RPM would be. It would show you your current RPM, and it would go up and down based on if you give it throttle or decrease in throttle. And then up here is going to be your thermostat. As you guys can see, I just ran it here recently, about 20 minutes ago or so, so it's still a little bit hot. Unfortunately, this thing does not turn off automatically. You do have to hold down the two buttons for just about 5 seconds, and then it will turn off. So I have left it on over 24 hours at current periods, and it never has really died or even gone down in battery, so that's always good. Another thing I did here was put on these gold handlebars. So if you guys would remember, I had on these black handlebars originally, and I just kind of got tired of looking at them, so I went ahead and bought some gold aluminum or gold painted aluminum handlebars here, and they look pretty good in my opinion. So yes, we also got a aluminum gas tank here instead of the plastic one that originally came on it. I went ahead and got the red one just to kind of match with all the other little bits of red I have on the bike here. And what I've noticed is it's kind of like just a little bit of red. Obviously a lot more up here as well. We also put this headlight is on here as well, and that is recharging with a 5-volt circuit, or 5-volt circuit. That whole system is recharging through this solar panel here. Now you guys might be like, oh, the headlight's blocking it. It still gets a pretty good amount of power, enough to recharge the battery that is outputting 5 volts through USB and is powering the little internal LED here on this headlight. I'll go ahead and turn it on for you guys. Right here is going to be 2 fans I was going to get to in just a second. I'll show you guys in just a second where this switch goes to. But right here is going to be our headlight here. It's pretty bright. It's running at 5 volts, so it's nothing really crazy. Obviously, if you connected a 12-volt circuit up to it, it'd run a lot brighter. Same thing with these LEDs here. These are running at 5 volts instead of 12 volts, so they're just plugged in via USB to a battery bank that is being recharged by this solar panel. So it's a pretty simple little circuit here. Eventually I do want to get a better stator and have it recharge a battery at about 12 volts, I'd say, and have it power a headlight and a rear light, and it can be based on the switch here. We already have the switches and everything in place here, so I also have a switch down here that I can flash the front headlight, and it still remain with the rear light on. So that's pretty cool as well if you want to flash your headlights and tell someone to kind of go ahead. All right, and like I was getting to with this other switch here, this is going to be our headlight switch. So as you guys can see, our headlight and rear light switch. And then this is going to be our switch that I have wired up to some fans as well here. So these are going to be fans that are running at 5 volts as well, that are going to be powered by that same battery bank. And are going to be blowing on the fins of the engine. And as you guys can see, my engine is air cooled here, so it is going to cool by air blowing on it. Now these engines, or these dirt bikes, all these kinds of dirt bikes, these Chinese dirt bikes, do not have a flywheel fan on them like these engines do, or these mini bikes do with these kinds of engines. They have a flywheel fan to where when that engine is spinning, it's spinning the fan that is attached to the flywheel of the engine and is cooling that whole entire engine off, even if it's just sitting there and idling and not riding down the road at 20 plus miles an hour. But this engine relies on just simple airflow of you riding it. So if you're sitting there letting it idle for a set amount of time, it can start to overheat and cause problems internally, possibly, locking up a cylinder or blocking up your piston, and causing catastrophic damage if you let it sit there and idle too long. Unlike this engine over here, and the simple engines like that are built kind of for pressure washers or like kind of universal uses, that are air cooled, but also have a flywheel fan on them to where if they're sitting there idling and not having any airflow by wind or you riding it down the road, that they are still cooled off by that fan. So I installed a fan right here and a fan on the other side here as well. It's going to be right here, so it's going to be drawing kind of air from kind of decently outside right here, and it's going to be kind of blowing it towards the base kind of the engine as well right here. So I put them right there for a reason, because when you're riding the bike, it's blowing air on this front part, but not so much this back part right here. And this back part can kind of start to get a little bit more hot than the front part. So you want to even that out, and that's why I put those two fans right there. So when I'm running the bike, it tends to get decently hot. It gets up to, I would say, about 250 degrees or so. So it's pretty fucking hot. Like, it's very hot. But I also have the thermostat wired up to being right where the spark plug is. So I'm almost certain that that is the issue. If we move it to somewhere like one of these bolts right here, or like something like down here or something like right there, like if we wired it to one of those bolts, because all it is a little O-ring, or like a ring piece, like a copper ring that attaches to a wire that goes through with your obviously RPM / hour meter gauge here. Obviously, you guys remember I have two wired up, so there's gonna be two that are wired up. One's gonna be a black wire that's inside of this little boot here, and yeah. So if you guys are interested in my channel and you guys have been watching my channel, you would know that I have put on this right here, this CDI box, this blue little CDI box, and this is going to be a racing, which realistically there's no real true difference. All that the difference is that there's no rev limit, and I mean there's no real point in it. Like, it honestly makes no difference. I would recommend maybe buying a adjustable rev limit CDI box. Those are kind of more interesting, and you can actually do a pretty good amount of adjustments on it with the adjustable rev limit CDI boxes. But for bigger engines, or like 450s, 350s, shit like that, they don't run very good. But the 150s, I mean, they're all right. These things don't rev past, like, I don't really let this thing rev past about 7 to 8,000 RPM. 8,000 RPM would be like pushing it about to the max is what it can go. But again, it is push rod activated. As you guys can see, it's going to be a vertical engine here, so it's going to be push rod activated. Or for your rocker arms, it's going to be push rods relying on the cam inside of the crankcase instead of an overhead cam that is over top, controlled by a belt that is driven by your crank. It's not going to be that. It's going to be push rods, and the cam is going to be in your crankcase and is going to rely on lobes in the crankcase, obviously connected to the camshaft, and it's going to push up on your push rods that are on your rocker arms of your engine, allowing your valves to move up and down. So it's not really as durable of a valve train as, you know, some of the overhead cam models are with the like horizontal shaft, more like horizontal. This one's fully vertical, but it still definitely is pretty good. It has a it does have crank balance, so it definitely like doesn't vibrate as bad as you would think. It definitely does still vibrate when you get up to about 7,000 RPM, but I mean, riding it like normally, like it does not vibrate nearly as bad as that thing does, especially if like the CVT or the CVT slash torque converter is not lubricated properly, or if your belt is very worn. This thing will vibrate like shit compared to this dirt bike right here. Yeah, if you guys are curious, it is going to be 5-speed, obviously 150cc engine here. It is pretty decent. It's got dual front and dual rear caliper brakes. It's pretty decent. The only thing that I really fucking hate about this thing is the chain adjustment piece right here. It's not like fine-tuned adjustment. It's just kind of like set adjustments. So you have these set settings. You have 1 through 17 here. So you can set it 1 through 17. That's all you get. You can also kind of change these as well. So if you want to kind of have it a little different, you can. So they've kind of made it, I mean, pretty decent here, but I do like the ones that are on this a lot better, to where you can just tighten or loosen these lock nuts here and adjust your chain that way. But yeah, that was the basic kind of simpleness of this video here. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this in the future, I'd appreciate if you guys left a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to my channel, and possibly left a comment down below saying what you want me to do with this bike, or most mainly this bike right here. I'm trying to find something to do with this thing, maybe sell it and get something better, or just fucking destroy it overall. You guys let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Thank you.